Today we're going to be replacing the standard outlet here. As you can see, our plugs are kind of loose. They don't really hold in chargers very well. So we're just going to go in there and get those replaced. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to open our power box here and make sure that all of our power is off. So we've gone and done that. We've unplugged turned off all of our plugs here and our lights. So we're going to just go ahead and take the faceplate off here using a flathead screwdriver. Should just come right off. Alright, before we get working here, we got to make sure that there's no power. So you can use a meter like this one to test and ensure that there's no power coming through the wires, or you can plug in some sort of electrical device to ensure that there's no power coming out. Alright, once that we have ensured that there's no power coming to this outlet here, we want to go ahead and remove these screws using a flathead screwdriver. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, once we have the screws removed, we can pull it out here, and we see there's some black wires and there's some white wires and there's the copper wire here in the back. And you'll notice that the black wires line up on one side on this side here, and then the white ones on the other side. You can either take a picture to remember where they go, or a video. Just make sure you remember which slots they go in. Okay, so once you have your outlet, your plug pulled out, and if you have the outlet like we have, you'll see that the wires come into the back. You'll see here this little hole. This is a release here, so you'll need to take your really skinny Phillips or screwdriver and just put it in there and make sure you put a lot of pressure on it. If it's old like ours, it might take that. You just put it in there, push it down, and it should just pop out. Okay, so we've gone ahead and removed these front two wires here, and we're going to go ahead and show you how to get this next one done. Go ahead and put some pressure in there. You need to get in there, and then it should kind of jimmy it out here. It's got that one there. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get the last one here. You just want to put it in, and I feel a lot of resistance when I do this, but once I get it in, it should kind of loosen up, and then you can kind of mess with this to get that last one out there. Okay, so now to get more of a close-up here, you can see the back of the plug here, and down here at the bottom it says white, so you know that's where you put the white wires. And you'll notice that on some of the newer ones it says that as well. It says white here at the bottom. You'll notice the screws are lighter than the screws on the opposite side, which the darker screws are for the black wires, the lighter screws are for the white wires. And then you'll see this other colored one is for the grounding wire. Also going to take another look here at the release down inside. You can see down in there. Again, you'll want to get your screwdriver or your Phillips, and you just put it down inside that little hole there, and that will release the wires. Okay, so this next step for removing the wires here, we just want to get this ground wire off this old plug. We'll just go ahead and just take this screw off. See, it's kind of a little rusty there, but so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get the screw all the way off so we don't have to wrap the wire around. And make it a little easier for us later. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and reinstall the new plugs here. Got to keep in mind as you install, make sure that the three-prong face is facing the right way with the large insert in the bottom. So there's two ways you can do this. You can either go ahead and plug these back into the holes here. As you see, you just pop it right in like that as we had it before. We're going to go ahead and wrap the wires around the bolts on the side though. And something you need to keep in mind, the darker screws, you'll see there's darker screws than the silver screws. The darker side is for the black, and the lighter side is for the white wires that you have here. And bend some of these wires a little bit. Just use some pliers. Needle nose might work a little better, but we're going to go ahead with some normal pliers here and just kind of pre-bend them a little bit so they're easier to hook on there. Okay, go ahead and wrap that around and twist that on there. Go ahead and apply this second one. Alright, so now that we've got the wires wrapped, you'll see the black cords up here. They kind of got some white paint on them, but okay, great. Now that we have the wires around the bolts here, we're just going to go ahead and tighten them to make sure that they're snug. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and attach these white wires just like we did the black ones. This one's kind of being a little bit of a chore here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of rebend it a little bit. Throw that on there. Got that one attached. We'll go ahead and use this other one here. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and tighten these screws here. Okay, so the next thing we need to do here is go ahead and put our ground wire on this green bolt here, our grounding bolt. So we are going to just slide that on there. Use some pliers here to help us out in that process. Alright, so once we've got that grounding wire on the screw, we're going to just go ahead and just kind of squeeze that together, tighten it up a little bit, and then we'll tighten the bolt here. Alright, so next thing we just need to push it back in. You'll feel some resistance there. But once we get our screws in, we can start just screwing it back into place here. Okay, so once we got those screws in place, we just need to go ahead and continue to tighten them. Okay, once that's in there, we're going to go ahead and put this original face plate back on and tighten it back up. Okay, so now that the faceplate's back on there, we'll go ahead and turn the power back on and test that everything works okay. Now that we've got the new plug installed, what we're going to do is go ahead and turn on all of our plugs and outlets and whatnot, and go and make sure that everything works okay. Okay, so we've gone ahead and turned the power back on, and we're testing the power now, and it seems to work just great.